Dear chess friends, this is Štěpán Žilka, and in this video I will show you the ways, the strategies, how Rook can stop two pawns, two very advanced pawns. If they are not advanced, usually the Rook has very easy win, but on the other hand, when the pawns are very advanced, then the Rook doesn't have a chance. And this is the marginal situation, which already somebody would say it's probably lost for the Rook, but it's actually not. Black in this position, it's some study type position, and black only move has king f3. What's the point why this king f4 is wrong? It's very very important, and that's what I highlighted you in this color. This diagonal is just wrong because b8 will always be with check. And what you will be using in this defense is that you will just put your rook to b1, just swing from via h1 to b1, and make use of the fact that white will promote to the queen, but he will have his king on the b file, so you will check the queen, check the king, take the queen, and with king you will stop the more distant pawn. So actually the only move drawing here is king f3, c4, and now the only move is rook h6. Because if you didn't play it now, the next time you will try to play this rook h6, it will already be met by some very quick advance of this pawn. So it's usually good to put the rook on the correct square immediately. So you have all the time in the world to check with the rook, and now you go to the already mentioned strategy rook h1, and now it's obvious that if b8 happens, then your king is close enough to catch the pawn. So rook h1, c5, and rook b1 check. King h7 looks reasonable. King a7 check, king b8, and now you would say, okay, so congratulations, I have the rook on this dream squares, and how do I actually stop the c pawn, right? He's running, and that's a big danger. But the rook is actually stronger than a lot of people think in these positions. The rook is very strong, and it can just play rook c1, and never, when stopping pawns with the rook, never forget it's to be active, to use these indirect protections. Imagine the pawn being on c4 in this position, king a7 happening. You could even take the pawn, and after b8 you would have check on a4 and check on b4. Never forget all these options for the rook. So for example, with this rook c1, king c7, rook takes c5, king b6, and now you have also this very easy draw. Just yeah, just, and that's the point again. I'm showing you, do not go into checks of possible new queen as long as it's not absolute necessity. Just go to the place where it will not be checked. If in this position you had the king on f4, you would just lose. Imagine the king being on f4. Let's put it manually this way. Now you would take the pawn, king b6, okay, rook c1 and b1 check, congratulations, no rook b1 available. So never ever go to check as long as it's not necessary. When you go to check of possible new queen, you must absolutely be sure you're doing the correct thing. There's a lot of annotations of these borderline situations in Alien Chess, in the application we are advertising in these videos. It's my application, you can try. And let's finish with this let's call it the main line. And now king e4, and this is the dream scenario when rook is picking the more distant pawn and king is picking the slow pawn. This is basically what you are always trying to achieve with the rook, and when you are in the attack, you are trying to have the pawn more backwards and this more forwards, that you can just run with the c pawn, and then the king and rook are actually interfering with each other, the defending rook and king, because it's just here is as you can see that here is just perfect, that everybody's taking everybody has the perfect role. Now just king d7, rook b2, and there's just nothing white can do with these pawns. Just you can wait and take it. So whenever in the attack you want to advance with the pawn that should be stopped by the king, not to have this closer pawn. In attack you basically do not want this pawn to be weakness, right? But on the other hand, the rook doesn't care which pawn it stops, and king cares, so that's why basically rook should be taking the more distant, but it's pretty logical, I think. This is everything to this video, to this idea how to stop 2 pawns with the rook. I hope you like it, and see you in one of my next videos and part of this endgame series. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.